All right, we have a 49ers update on the quarterback. He looks jacked. New pictures are up. This is, by the way, it's not in Orlando. This is Orlando up there, but this is in Ponte Vedra, Florida. Brock Purdy working out. Aaron Berkshire, the photographer. This is at the Court X Sports Performance Center. And we can look through these to see that Brock Purdy might have added some muscle. Remember, his goal this offseason was to add some strength and agility. He talked about that on the Pat McAfee show. Well, there he is working on the agility and the core muscle strength. There he is running. As you can tell, it's not cold in Florida. Another throwing photo for Brock Purdy. Going deep. And one more. It does look like he has bulked up. So this is the Brock Purdy offseason regimen. Just a couple days ago, he was in the Bay Area when he made that appearance on the Pat McAfee show. Brock Purdy was in the 49ers media room. That was, it's Thursday. That was on Tuesday. So he took the flight across country, Ponte Vedra, where these photos are taken, at the Court X Sports Performance Center. Ponte Vedra is just outside of Jacksonville. So Purdy crossed the country. Now he's working in Florida. I believe that he's working with Will Hewlett out there and Tom Gormelli. Both of those guys have worked with Brock Purdy and his throwing motion over the past couple of years. They're both based in Jacksonville. That's where Purdy has done his offseason work. So we saw Purdy in the Bay Area for the beginning of the voluntary offseason program. Now he's working in Florida, and I'm sure that he's going to fly back across country and be in the Bay Area shortly because that offseason program is still going on right now. The 49ers are their executives, Kyle Shanahan, those guys are going to be in big-time draft mode. A lot of that starts with the media in person on Monday. John Lynch is going to talk to the media. We're going to also have a chance to visit with some players. So perhaps we get some Brock Purdy to go along with that. I'm not sure if he's going to be back from the Jacksonville area yet, but it is possible that he's back from Ponte Vedra, Florida. He does look very, very strong, though. And that's, he talked about it on the Pat McAfee show. He wants to improve the agility. The 10-yard split is already elite as far as quarterbacks are concerned, over that 90th percentile. He joked, maybe not so jokingly, that he wants some design run plays. And maybe there will be one zone read once every few games. Maybe there will be something to keep defenses more off balance. But in terms of throwing, in terms of strength, if you do get hit, and every quarterback is going to get hit in the NFL, you want to bolster the frame as much as possible. Here we have all the tags on the photo. The 49ers are tagged. Brock Purdy's tagged. Look, they tagged Brad, the SF Niners. Congratulations to Brad. Aaron Berkshire, the photographer. Will Hewlett and Tom Gormelli, who I mentioned. The NFL, the Check Down, the Court X Performance Center, and the NFL Network. So there you go. All those people tagged. But you want as much bulk as possible to be able to withstand some of the hits in the NFL. Not to mention, the arm strength. But arm strength is not directly correlated to how buff you are. Arm strength is a little bit different. You need to be able to get that snapping motion with your arm. Sometimes you need a little bit more flexibility to throw the ball harder. So it's one of those things where Purdy's going to be working hard on the physical aspect of his game whenever he's away from the facility. And when he's at the facility, I think that we're going to see Brock Purdy working with Kyle Shanahan on the mental aspect of the game, the cerebral aspect, gaining more command at the line of scrimmage, being an extension of what the coach wants out on the field. I've talked so much about the progress that Brock Purdy made from year one to year two. This time last year, we were obviously talking about the recovery from the elbow surgery and how Brock Purdy was going to look like coming off of that. He answered that in a very positive fashion. But that was this time last year. Now we can start talking about more minute details. And one of the areas of concern at this time last year was, how is he going to react when he's pressured, especially from the right side or even sometimes on the left side? But how is he going to react when there is an opportunity to step into the pocket? Is he going to do that, or is he going to continue bailing to his left a little too often because he struggled when rolling to his left in the 2022 season? And Purdy answered that question with absolutely flying colors this past year. He developed a feel from the pocket that was as good as long-term veterans in the NFL. The way that he manipulated the pocket with just subtle motions. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a sprint in one direction or a sprint in the other, or even a step in one direction or step in the other. Sometimes it's just working your body. Sometimes it's a slight nudge in one direction to create a throwing lane. The way that he felt the pocket and was able to elude pressure and reset his body was really masterful this past season. So that's something that Brock Purdy got a lot better at. And what really was impressive to me is that he was able to make those strides, even though his offseason was spent rehabilitating from the elbow injury. So that shows you that Brock Purdy is able to watch a lot of tape. He's able to study his playbook, and he's able to translate what he picks up cerebrally into something that he does physically on the field, which is probably the most important translation that a quarterback can make, which is why he's become such a good player. As far as arm strength goes, I think it got better over the course of the 2023 season as he got further and further away from the elbow surgery. And I mean, we saw the highest deep pass completion rate in documented NFL history from Brock Purdy last year. We saw him hit intermediate passes, the most difficult ones to make from an arm strength perspective. It's not the deep ball that's the toughest to make. It's the 20 to 25 yard deep out. I mean, we saw him make those like clockwork. He had the highest yards per attempt in intermediate pass documented history, 10 to 20 yards. So all that was fine. But I think there still might be an uptick if he's getting a little bit bulkier, if he can keep that flexibility. That's the super exciting thing about Brock Purdy. When you got a quarterback who's under 25 years old, physically, he's still going to mature. You hope that mentally he's still going to mature too, although I do think that Brock Purdy has been ahead of his age as far as that goes. But the 49ers are in tremendously exciting times with their young quarterback. And at this point, it's just, I think it's just a matter of time before he can lead them to the ultimate promised land. I mean, he took him to the Super Bowl, and he was the number 1 rated quarterback in all football. But I think there still is a little bit of meat left on the bone for Brock Purdy to improve. I'm going to be back in the Bay Area this weekend. I'm in Nashville right now, by the way. I'd like to show you different locations when I try. This is what the city looks like in Nashville on Broadway. It's the end of the regular season today, and they're about to playoff. They got on Saturday. Their goalie, Eka Rene, is the most decorated player of all time. Then they had a fight. Let's watch. This is good. I always enjoy it when I get to a hockey game and there's a fight. And then this is the post-game scene. Then you spill out of the arena and you go right out to Broadway. It is absolutely crazy. So put this on your bucket list for travels. I know I post quite a bit from here, but I don't think I've ever given you guys. I mean, the fact that you've got the arena right on Broadway. I mean, that's the Ryman Auditorium on the right. That's like the church of country music, the cathedral of country music. The fact that you have that right by Bridgestone Arena, it's going to be a cool scene for the postseason. Anyway, that's that. Hope you enjoyed. Brock Purdy looks jacked, and he's kind of in this part of the country, down in Jacksonville. That's in the south, right? Technically in the Florida, but that's the south part of Florida. Not geographically south, but it's the south, that part of Florida. All right, everybody take care. We'll talk to you soon.